Hi, everybody. Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday. I hope everybody's doing well. Let me just get this out of the way. I wanted to just take a minute to thank everybody for sending, for sending me messages, for missing last week's video. I just couldn't do it. I'm really sorry. Every once in a while, I suffer with panic attacks and anxiety, and 9 times out of 10, I can talk myself out of it and it goes away. And for some reason that day, it just lingered. So tonight, we're going to be recreating this card. And as I'm thinking of it, I have to grab hold of my ink. Let me just see where, here it is. Right here. So we have it. But I'm going to do it, as you saw, I grabbed Old Olive. I'm going to do it in greens. So you can see by just changing the color, you can change the whole look of the card. So that'll be the first card tonight. And then for the second card, I said it was a mystery card, and honestly, it's going to be a mystery to us all because I have not created it yet. I have all my pieces cut out, but I am going to do it with the same colors. To be honest, I'm using the holly for this card and the opposite side, which is a beautiful olive green color. And I ran out of this paper. So for the second card, all the pieces are pretty much the same. I am using the holly, and this is from The Most Wonderful Time medley refill. Yeah, I do too, So what I did was I grabbed a different piece. It's actually we're going to be using the back side of this piece here. So it's just a little different, and I believe it is called a double Dutch fold card. So that should be fun. It'll, like I said, it'll be a mystery to both of us. So before I get started, I just wanted to make a few announcements. I'm sure everybody already knows. But the new Stampin' Up! Emboss machine, cut and emboss machine is available. It is awesome, so quiet, easy to store. It folds right up, just like this. Sorry about the click. And then it has all your cutting platforms, and it actually explains how to set your plates for the different cutting, for embossing folders, for your thin dies, for the thicker dies. As you can see, mine gets a lot of use. But I've noticed if you designate, and you can see that they're numbered, and it goes with the numbers for your plates on here, which is awesome. But I found that if you designate one plate, because I've been using this, as you can see, very often, If you designate one plate for the bottom and just always utilize the same number 3 plate for the top, they don't warp as much. Just keep flipping this one and it does not warp. So that's really a good tip. And these machines do have a 3-year limited warranty, which is awesome. And just so you know, if you were ever thinking about becoming a business builder, hi Debbie, hi Peggy, becoming a business builder, you can actually include that as in your starter kit. The starter kit is $99. You get $125 worth of product. And for the month of September, for that same $99, Stampin' Up! Is going to give 2 different stamp sets, So Much Love and the Queen Anne's Lace, plus enough supplies to create a total of 16 cards. And it also comes with rhinestones for the same $99. Plus tax, it ships for free. So if you'd like to join my team, I'd love to have you. Just get in touch, and I will walk you through the process. So like I said, we're going to be doing this card, and I used the Dove of Hope stamp set, Sentiment. That's all I used in here. And I believe I had a rough time looking for the die, but I did use the die also to this set. As you remember, if you remember, I used this stamp set last week for my showcase. And then I also used for the inside of this card, the die from the Stitch So Sweetly, and then the layering squares. I'll have all the dimensions for these cards on my blog tomorrow and also on my newsletter. So if I don't mention a dimension, don't worry, you'll have it tomorrow. So we're going to start with the base of the card, and it is 8.5 by 4 1/4, and I actually scored it at 3. So we're just going to fold that and burnish it. And like I said, I'm going to use the holly, and we're going to put 2 layers on this side piece. Has anybody had any crazy weather? We had some rain today. I'm only asking because I saw, what is it, Colorado. One day they had, let me move up, I'm not even in the camera, like really warm temperatures, and then the following day they had snow. My weather here hasn't been that bad, but we did have rain today, and thank goodness it held out, because the last 3 days I've had someone here reboarding my deck, and they finished it yesterday, thank goodness. Okay, so I put those 2 layers together, and then we are just going to layer this right on top. And just so you know, when I do my layers, I do each layer 1/8 of an inch smaller than the next. So like I said, this one was 4 1/4 by 3. So the next layer is 4 1/8 by 2 7/8, and then down 1/8 again. Okay, so now I have a piece that is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and I am just going to, let me just grab my snail. Some of it I can do in snail. I like the glue, and I'm using the opposite side for a little contrast. I usually like using the glue because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. So if I don't get it straight, some days I couldn't put anything straight anywhere. It's just so funny. Okay, so we're just going to make sure this has the same amount of space all the way around. I like to just make sure with the top piece, and that's going to be our inside. So it's just a little bit of contrast from the colors. And then I did Old Olive in a 3-inch square, and then the gold foil. And I'm going to have to cut out the very vanilla square. I was going to cut it out and then stamp it, but I want to make sure that I get the stamping in, get it on straight. Like I said, some days I couldn't stamp, cut, or lay a straight line, and I'd be afraid that today would be one of those days. Okay, so there's that sentiment. I didn't even pull them out. I can't believe it. Sorry about that. Let me just grab another block here. Okay, so they're ready. So now I also have the Stitch So Sweetly rectangle, which matches the squares, and then a piece of Very Vanilla for inside the little stitched marks. And that is going to be on the inside of the card. But what I want to do first, and this is going to be popped up, so let me just grab, if I know where they are, my dimensionals. Here they are. We're just going to put dimensionals on one side. We want to put them towards the edge because we don't want to have it overlap this flap. And then we have our gold piece. Okay, so I want to center it from top to bottom, and I just want to leave a little space on the end. Like I said, this is going to go on the inside of the card. So I want it to look as if there's the same space on each end. So that looks just about right. So we are going to stick this down. And I'm just going to hold this here again. This is like a little guide. Gives you a better idea of the space on either end of the card. And we want to make sure that we're going to end up covering this. So I'm just going to eyeball it right here and make sure that it is even top to bottom and straight. I'm just going to lift it up so I can see, and that looks like it's pretty straight. And then I'm also going to pop up the gold foil. Now remember, if you have little tiny pieces that you wanted to do in gold, you could always cut them out the center. Nobody's going to know that you cut the center of your gold foil out, or any of your foil papers. Yeah, I know, Debbie. I'm like I said, the snail stresses you out too. See, me too sometimes. But the sentiment, at least when you stamp it, you do have a chance to line that die up properly. So I'm just going to put this down. And like I said, if you have little things that you wanted to cut out, that you wanted to add to your card, you could always cut it out the center. I've done it several times. I've done it, like if you're going to do a whole layer of a card, I always take a rectangle die and cut out the center. This way you have it for a different project, and you're not wasting, and nobody will ever know. Okay, so that looks like it is off just a little. Let me just pick this up and line it up. That looks better. Okay, so let's stamp the sentiment, and I am just going to give me a second to set my machine up. I showed you the machine, and I just want to put it back together so I can cut this out when we're ready. So I'm going to do this one in Old Olive, and I just want, before I stamp it, some of my stamps are so new, they give me blobs. So let me just stamp it on, make sure I have it up right side up. Yeah, see, it's just a little gloppy. Let me just run it through on my mat, make sure I have. Okay. I'm going to try this one more time. Alright, that's better. So we're just going to ink this up. Hopefully it comes out better on the... That looks good. And at the same time, I think this is the right one. This one says, "May your season be filled with all the wonder and blessings of Christmas." And then on the inside, I added, "and hope in your heart." So I'm just going to do this one. This one I wasn't too afraid to do. Let me just clean that off. I'm just going to put this right here. I want to make sure I have it on straight. Okay, so give me a second to run this through. I got my fan running tonight, so it's so funny. We have the air conditioning on in the family room. We have the windows open in the bedroom with a fan going. The weather has been so crazy. Okay, so we got that stamped and cut out. We're just going to glue this down to the gold. Now when you put it on the gold, remember, don't shift it. Hey, Julie. Everybody, I didn't even see you come in. Thank you. You know, Peggy, the new, let me put this on and we'll talk about the stamp and seal, because I was frustrated with it too. Remember, when you're using glue on gold foil, you don't really, even though you have some wiggle room, you don't want to get it on the edges because it just does not come off. So make sure that when you put it down, you put it down pretty close to where it needs to be. And it's a little crooked, so let's just straighten it out. And that looks good. You're talking about, yes ma'am, I'm smiling. I even have my my smile right here. The stamp and seal. I was getting frustrated with it too. And I have to be honest, many of the cards I've been creating over the past couple of weeks, I have been using our liquid glue. I've gone through so much glue. I have a nice supply and I have a lot of this too, but I was getting frustrated. Excuse me. But I found that, and I'll hold this up. When you start it, if you hold it up, like here's your paper, hold it up at a little bit of an angle. You don't want to go too far, just enough. See, this one I didn't do right. So get it started. And it's going to mess with me now, right? But you're going to get it started. And as you come down, if you lift it a little bit and then go sideways, really click it off, when you go down for your next one, it starts again. Bring it up, click to the side, and it works. Bring it straight up and down and click to the side. If you use the blue, these blue lines, as your guide, you start it, leave it at a little angle, go up and to the side, and believe me, it works every time. It's amazing. Just that little bit. See? You can see all the lines. It actually works. So I've been using it. We'll get rid of that now. I've been using it a little bit more often. It's all in that wrist action. Okay. So now, let's finish up the front of this card. Let me just, sorry for my reaching across, but I want to grab my little dots. These little dots, if I'm not mistaken, let me just make sure. Is this one from the Dove of Hope? I don't believe so. Yes, it is. These little dots are also in the Dove of Hope. So we're just going to, let's see. Let's just poke these out. And we're going to do a little trick, because I don't need the whole piece, but I do want to use more than one sprig. I'm just going to cut it and make sure it's a little rounded. Nobody will ever know. And then this end we don't have to worry about. And then we're going to do it again for this piece. And I'll clean up my messy desk in a second. I've been trying to post a disaster area picture all week, and for some reason I haven't been able to post an actual post in my group or my business page, but I can share to the pages. So I didn't want to share this to my personal page, because then everybody will see. I want to keep it quiet, but my disaster area of a desk. I'll try to get it posted again tomorrow. So all we're going to do is take these little sprigs and we're going to stick them under the first layer. And we could have done these in gold. It would have showed up a little better. Sorry if I'm not keeping up with you. Oh, you're welcome, Peggy. Like I said, I have seen lots of different posts about that seal, and I've been working on it, and I think for me that works the best. Okay, so we put the little green in. Now with these little holes, I wanted to just cover a few of them So we're just going to put a few dots on here, and we're going to pick up these little berries, and we're just going to add them in, just to add a little bit extra to them. It matches the paper. And then we're going to use, this really doesn't match that well, only because I guess I could use this one. Yeah, let's use this one. And I'm not sure. This may be from Flowers for Every Season. I'll have to check. But we're just going to make our bow. I'm so thankful to Julie for teaching me how to create bows. They've been getting easier and easier. I don't add bows to every card, but when I do, I have to say it has gotten so much easier. Just takes practice. Okay. So we're just going to trim this a little bit. Get my glue dots. I forgot to pull out my glue dots. And as you can see, I'm still using some paper pumpkin glue dots. I love my paper pumpkin supplies. I have to say, it really does last a long time. So we're just going to get this bow, whoops, stick it on the front here. Once I get it stuck, I'll just puff it out, straighten it out, and that's the front of our card. So now for the inside, we're going to take our Stitch So Sweetly rectangle. Let me just make some sense here. And just like the inside of this card, this is going to all be glued. And I'm going to do the glue for this one, because this one I would like a little wiggle room. And I'd like to put it on the inside of those little stitch marks. Just adds a little bit extra. And then we're going to make sure, and again, I'm going to do this one with glue, only because I want to be able to move it, because we want to make sure, and I'm going to put it, line it up with this square on the outside, make sure it's even, and close that flap. And we can open it up and make sure it's sticking down, and there it is. It's hidden from view. The square is definitely hiding it. Puff this bow up, and there you go. That's the first card. And like I said, it's the same exact fold, only in green. So there we go. That's your first card. Now let's do the second card. I'm hoping this works out. If it doesn't, oh well. The way I have it in my head, just make sure I have all my pieces. And that one, that one. Oh, no. Oh, here it is. Just make sure. There we go. Okay, we're not going to use this one. We're going to use for the sentiment. Okay, so we're going to use exactly the same things. Like I said, I just changed out this one here, only because I ran out of that paper, believe it or not. All right, let me just, there we go. Okay, so we have lots of little pieces. Now, like I said, this one is called a double Dutch fold card. And I saw it and I thought it would be perfect to show you how you could alter the looks of one card using the same products, just a different fold. So we're going to start out with the olive green again. And this one actually is 9 by 4 1/4. And it is scored at 3.5. And the way I saw this done, I'm just going to alter it a little bit, only because I just want to hide the piece. Okay, so we're going to add, we're going to stick with the holly leaves. Excuse me, it's getting warm in here. I think because of, see, I did that wrong. Because of the rain, we've had rain all day. It's starting to get a little bit humid. Okay, so add all my layers. I'm going to stick with the old olive. And then we'll put our holly on. And, I mean, it's going to look almost like the same card. It just has a little twist to it. Make sure you have it centered and everything's even. Now this card is going to stand this way. We still have the same inside piece and the same outside pieces. The only extra we have is this piece, and it is 8.5 by 2, and I scored each end, so I scored it at 2 1/8, and then turned it and scored it again at 2 1/8. Just made it a little simpler. We're just going to burnish these folds. Now, when I saw this card made, I saw everybody putting it on the back side of the card, and I just don't like this fold. So where I like my layers on the inside, I decided, and like I said, who knows if this is going to work. It's an experiment and a mystery to all of us. But I am going to add this to the inside of the card. And the reason I'm doing that, and I hope it does work, because I'm going to add layers. And we're just going to make sure this is lined up and straight. Just going to move it over a little. Okay. Move this down just a tad. There we go. Okay. So that is that. Let me just go over that edge again a little bit. Okay. So then for the inside, let me just make sure that I've already pre-cut them. Like I said, it's a mystery to us all. Nope, it'll fit. So well, let's get this inside. I'm going to use the stars. I'm going to glue it so I have a little bit of wiggle room. Let's move this out of the way. Oops. Make sure it's even all around. Thanks, Nancy. Thanks, Julie. Okay, And then we're going to put this on the inside. And like I said, this will take care of covering this line, and it's clean on the back. And because of the nice layers, it should not show through. Just make sure it's straight, and it is. And it doesn't. See, now you don't even see that center line, which is wonderful. So we're going to do this again. We want to make sure this is centered and straight. Has anybody ever used, we're changing the subject because I got to just grab a drink of water here for a second. I don't even know what they're called. The decals that you do your nails with, the wraps, or I'm not really too sure. 'Cause I bought Walmart ones. But if anybody gets a chance, they are the stick-on masks or whatever they're called. And they have them, and now mine are getting really bad now, but they have them in Julie, you would love them, the French tips. And that's what these are. I put them on the other day. Like I said, they're about a week old. And then I had to add my American flag because this nail was broken off, so a tip wouldn't look good. But they're great. Got them in Walmart. Okay, so this is, I think, pretty well nice and straight. Let's grab some dimensionals. And again, I'm going to put them only on one side because we don't want it to catch the bottom. So I'm just going to put 3. Make sure that, and we're doing this same exact thing. Going to line these up. Make sure it's lined up well. And it's even all around. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing with the gold again. And again, if you have anything little that you need to die cut before you use this piece, take it out of the center. My gold pieces, I have little tiny, let me just grab one. Oh, that's not a good one. I mean, I keep all my sheets. If I can get a little tiny piece out, I do. So I have gold and brass, all kinds of sheets all over the place. Okay. Now we're going to line this up. And this is popped up on dimensionals. And it's the same square that we used. I'm just going to lift it a minute because it's not even. I got worried. I said, oh shoot, it moved, but I haven't even glued this one down yet. Okay, is that even? Yep, that looks good. Let's get all these pieces out of here. Start in a disaster area. Okay, so what I did for these little pieces is we're going to follow with the little stars, and these are odd sizes. It's 1 7/8 by 2, because remember we did 2 1/8, so you're going to have to make sure. I'm going to open this up, lay it this way. We're going to make sure we have them in the right direction, and then we're going to put the stars again just for some added layers. Give it a little decoration. Once you see how this card stands up, then you'll understand. It's a cute card. Like I said, I'm not sure how it's going to turn out because it's a mystery to us all. Okay. Got a little something right there. Okay, got it. Alright, so we're just going to put these on these pieces here. And these are the little fold out pieces. Making sure you have them in the right, the right direction. And then again on this side, making sure it's even. And that looks pretty even. Hold on one. Just let me write to Donna. Okay, sorry, I just wanted to quick type into to Donna. Thank you, Peggy. Yep, I was doing the same thing. Thank you for letting her know. I appreciate that. Okay, so here's our little flaps. Matches the inside. Let's get this piece in here. And again, I'm going to use glue. And we're going to do it the same way. Line it up with that square. Make sure I'm on the screen. Make sure it's lined up with that square and straight. And close it up, and it'll give you a little wiggle room because it's not perfectly straight. Make sure it's hiding. Make sure it's straight in there. And then there's the inside. Okay, so let's work on the outside. We're going to use the same exact sentiment again. And I think what I'm going to do is where this stamp pad, sorry for my arm, is so wet, I'm just going to scrape some of the ink down. Just like that. This way it's not so gloopy. If that's even a word. Let's see how that works. Ah, yes, much better. Okay, so we're going to ink this up. And again, I could have cut it out first, but I wanted to make sure that when I cut it out, it's straight. So just give me a second to cut this out. I feel like it's one of those days that I would not be able to get anything straight if I tried. And if anybody is looking for a new cut and emboss machine, I would, not just because it's Stampin' Up, but I would highly recommend it. I love it. It's so quiet. It's easy to use. Okay. And now we're going to do, what did I do with my little sprigs? I wanted to do the same thing. Give me a second. I think they fell. And they must have. I had them all right here. Ah, yes, they did. They're right on the floor, so give me a second. it went, everything went crashing before, and I didn't realize it was, what you call it, the pieces to this card. And I just want to cut this one. Give me 1 second. As prepared as I am, I always forget something. Never fails. I think if anything ever went completely smooth, I'd be worried. Just give me a second. 1, 2. Right. Nope. All right. I think that's good. And so okay. Let's make sure. Oh, just a little long. Let's take a little bit off. Get rid of that spoon, because you know what happens. Just going to take a tad off. I just want to make sure that it fits in between. There we go. That's good. And that's good. I like it to fit in between those stitches. So while I have this, now we did stamp the sentiment in the bottom right hand corner. Gloopy should go in the dictionary. Yep. We did do it in the bottom right hand corner with it horizontal. We're going to turn it vertical. And we're going to do it in this bottom corner because the card stands in the opposite direction. So we're just going to, yep. Put the sentiment there. Close this up. Get rid of the ink because we're done. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing with these little sprigs. And I'm just going to cut them apart because I want 4. And we'll cut this one up here. When you cut them, you just want to make it so it doesn't look like you actually cut it off. So now we're going to take them and stick them under this way. And you can add, you don't have to just do 4. I just figured 4 would fill it up a little bit. And I did cut, I have a gold one cut out, but I just figured we'll stick with the green. Arrange it a little bit. They don't have to be all even. Let them dry. Get our little red dots. Gonna add some little berries. Make sure, I don't know if anybody noticed, but when you cut your berries out, there is a right side and a wrong side. So that's why I'm using this little pokey tool. Oh, that one looks like it's the right way. Alright, so now it matches the paper a little bit. Just put this on here and put that away. And let's get it bow tied. And this one, we'll put the ties down the opposite way. So in between and through Make sure everything stays straightened. Take your little tail. Not cut it too short. Let's try that again. See? Still need practice. Practice as much as you create bows. You always make a mess. Well, I do anyway. Okay, so we're going to take this piece and we're going to put it through that piece that we just, and we're going to get a longer piece. Sorry about that. I guess that's what happens. I hate wasting ribbon, so I always cut it, and it's too short. And I'll use that piece when I can sit here and struggle on my own. But I guess we shouldn't really be, I shouldn't struggle in front of everybody. Okay, so we're just going to take these off. Get our bow straightened out here a little bit. Cut our tails. See, I just hate these pieces. Drives me crazy. Okay, so we're going to put this one right in the center. But unlike this one, where the tail is facing this way, we're going to face it where they're facing away from the sentiment. This one will put down towards the sentiment. And we're just going to puff up this bow. We can manipulate the little loops. Make sure it's straight. Okay. Grab our glue. I'm going to put this inside piece right in the center. So everything is similar to the original, to the first card, except this card sits like this. So when it's opened, this, and I should have moved it up a little bit, okay, but this, it'll sit so it has a little ledge to sit on. Now I'll write in the instructions, this piece should be brought up probably 1/8 of an inch. Instead of me lining it up with the bottom of the card base, I should have brought it up about 1/8 of an inch. Even a quarter wouldn't hurt. Then this way, when this pulls out, it fits pretty good until you move this out a little bit, and then it's cut too short. So this piece will have to go up about 1/4 of an inch. And when it's sitting, this will lean on these two pieces here, just like that. So that's a cute little card, and it's almost identical to this one. So I'll have that correction. Like I said, it's a mystery to me too now. Thanks, Debbie. I will put that correction and all the directions on the PDF. It'll be, I'll post it in the group and on my blog, and I think I'm also going to have this on my newsletter this week. If you're not, if you don't subscribe to my newsletter, you can sign up here at galfridaystamping.com. I hope you enjoyed tonight's cards. It's always so much fun. I'm just so happy that everybody took time out of their busy schedules to be with me tonight. I appreciate it so much. I just love my cards, and I love all my friends. So have a great weekend. This will be in the group tomorrow. And I will see you next week. Thanks, Debbie. You're so welcome. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon. If everybody, whoever shares this, I'll put you in a drawing. The prize for sharing this week is all the cards that I've created this week with the Cardinal Toll Christmas or Toil Christmas. I'm not really too sure how to pronounce it. There's 5 cards that I'm going to be doing as a mini class, just a PDF for sale. Whoever shares this video will get that PDF for free this week. It's a $15 value. So if you share this video, I will put your name in a drawing and I will announce it on Monday morning. So have a great weekend. Thanks for stopping in. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.